Gabbard and the DNI, revealing how the Obama cabal cooked up fake Russian intel to launch the collusion hoax and never wanted it to see the light of day. Uh-oh, watch.
What would you say to people who believe that you're only releasing these documents now to improve your standing with the president after he said
there are still people, won't surprise you, within the intelligence community who don't want this information to see the light of day. Some of them may be implicated in the crafting of it. Others are concerned about people being embarrassed. Others are concerned about accountability and what else we will discover as we continue down this path towards the truth and bring about accountability for the American people. That's really what this is all about and why it does such a disservice. I was standing there in the White House press briefing room and hearing some of these crazy questions being asked by members of the media who are trying to distract and deflect away from the historic expose that we have brought forward that once again puts into question the American people's ability to trust the integrity of our democratic republic. And the reason why that is, and it's similar to the deep state actors who have been trying to stop us from releasing this, is that we have members of the media who were complicit in this from the very beginning, who were leaked early copies of this, or at least lines from this January 2017 Obama manufactured intelligence assessment. They printed what they were fed. People like Ellen Nakashima from the Washington Post, who, by the way, went on to win a Pulitzer Prize because for years she was so good at lying and not telling the truth to the American people that they gave her an award for it. These people are still.
And the Trump administration is getting back to the basics and back to common sense by ending the era of weaponized intelligence and making sure nothing like the collusion hoax ever happens again. But much of the media is still refusing to admit what has been obvious all along, that there was never any collusion, just like Trump said. And it was all a big lie from the very start. Watch.
People who believe that you're only releasing these documents now to improve your standing with the president after he said that your intelligence assessments were wrong.
Who is saying that she would release this to try to boost her standing with the president? Who has said that?
Well, the president has publicly undermined her when it came to Iran. He said she was wrong. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about. That was on Air Force One on camera.
The only people who are suggesting that the Director of National Intelligence would release evidence to try to boost her standing with the president are the people in this room who constantly try to sow distrust and chaos amongst the president's cabinet, and it is not working. I will just answer your question directly. I am with the President of the United States every day. He has the utmost confidence in Director Gabbard. He always has. He continues to. And that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team to deliver on the promises this president made. Does anyone else have questions for Director Gabbard?
And over at CNN, things didn't get much better today when this bizarre moment happened live on air. And as you're watching this, ask yourself if there's ever been a better metaphor for their credibility. Take a look.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that, what you just saw there is a brand.
And joining me now, former Border Patrol agent, intel expert, and senior fellow for the Texas Public Policy Foundation, Amon Blair. How are you? Look at that. Oh, my God. Every time I see it, I'm like, ah.
Good. How are you, ma'am?
Good. It's nice to see you. What's going on over at that place? It's like, really, it's like Nut Job Central. What are they doing?
Yeah, no joke. I think they have to, like she said, they're deflecting and distracting. This is all bread and circuses, what they're going to do, because now they've been exposed. Their lies have been exposed. And so now they're trying to figure out ways and means to distract all the lies that they've told for the last how many years. And so really they've implanted that seed, unfortunately, into the minds of the people. And like, well, if you've ever read the book, have you ever read the book by Gad Saad, A Parasitic Mind?
I have not, but I'm going to write it down.
Man, it's really good. It really talks about how a social contagion can get into the mindset. Kind of like have you ever read the book 1984?
Yes, George Orwell.
Yeah, by George Orwell. So the same kind of concept. Information in equals outputs, right? So the information that we consume is going to dictate our thoughts, which will lead to dictating our actions. And that's what they've done this entire time. They've propagandized the majority of Americans. Because let's be honest, most Americans are probably not watching Fox or CNN. They're probably going about their day. They're on social media, definitely. They have a social media presence. And so because of that, the left, through certain organizations like Galvanized Action, have released propaganda on social media feeds hidden as items like ads that come across, whether you're Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, because they realize that a majority of us Americans are kind of tired of politics. And so they've taken this group, it's called Galvanized Action. You guys can actually get on there right now. You can go on their Galvanized Action playbook, and you can see they have an entire platform where they scrubbed every single one of our social media profiles. They then figured out our values, our ethics. They figured out our buying and purchasing power. They hired neuroscientists and figure out ways and means to dictate our actions and our voting habits all through social media messaging and creating that social contagion that Gadsad describes in his book. And then what we described as somewhat of like a mass psychosis, where this turns into like a huge portion of our society, regardless of what is being told as truth, are going to continue to operate anyway.
So, how confident are you that the Trump administration can restore the confidence among the American people in the way that we actually gather intelligence and that it's free from partisan political agendas?
I remember General Flynn wrote a report back in the day, like I think it was 2009. And he talked about the destruction or what's happened to our intelligence community, where he was actually getting reports from news media before he was even getting it in his hands as a general. And he talked about the intelligence community back then and how disorganized and dysfunctional it is. And in fact, today, I think General Flynn just put out the national security strategy himself because of how rotten the intelligence community's core is. And now, so it's going to take a long time. It's going to take longer than just one presidency to get rid of this. Also, all of us need to support Tulsi Gabbard in this effort, especially the Department of Justice. Look, we've already been promised so many things so far this administration that have not come to fruition, whether that's in the Department of Defense, whether that's with the COVID vaccines. Look, I personally I was an officer in the Army. I did not take the jab. I was forced out. I am still not able to get back in and be reinstated. So there's over 8,000 of us that are still doing this. And there's also been no repercussions for those who forced us out, harassed us, gave us dishonorable discharges, just you name it. So, and then it could just come across the board. You and I last time discussed about what was happening on the streets in LA.
Yes.
How many of the people that are touching our federal agents are assaulting them? How many politicians that are calling for violence, calling us terrorists, how many of them are being held accountable? Look, now the ball is now in the Department of Justice's court. We can no longer hang on their words. It's not about what you preach, it's what you tolerate.
And how can President Trump, because like you mentioned, I think quite astutely, that it's going to take more than one administration, but how can President Trump, or any president for that matter, best navigate this, ongoing resistance from the entrenched bureaucracy, who in fact may still be operating with a deep state mentality?
I think a big one is supporting Tulsi Gabbard. Like she says, she's not done with the investigation yet. Continue on in helping her. And then, to be honest, there needs to be accountability from Pam Bondi. If there is not, we are not going to get rid of the rot. They're going to see themselves as covered, that there's going to be no accountability. So they're going to continue operations, whether that is secretly or not. Just like on the streets, everything that on the streets is going to continue to happen unless there's accountability. The rot within our communities is going to continue to fester. It's going to continue to grow. They're going to use the same level of counterintelligence that they've been trained to do to our own nation. And so they're going to continue to hide this way unless everything that Tulsi Gabbard states is then actioned by Pam Bondi. That's the only way we're going to be able to do it. Intel in operations, intel and tactics, just like in combat, They need to be hand in hand together and working together, just like General Flynn stated in 2009 in his report, just like what Tulsi Gabbard and this administration is stating. The Department of Justice needs to start acting.
Yeah, you're right about that. And, where else do you see, from your vantage point, evidence of politicized interference, impacting America's safety and security?
Sure, really, it's at the border. It's also with Mexico. Look, our continued reliance on Mexico for our food, for our trade, has unfortunately given way to the security threats that we face. I want to ask you a question. The cartels have been designated as foreign terrorist organizations. How many of them have been indicted inside the United States since that designation?
Yeah, only in El Salvador.
Yeah. So there's only been one case. One case. Now, we are treating Mexico right now for some reason, and it's all because the USMCA trade deal is going on right now. There's negotiations happening behind closed doors, and it's supposed to be completely renegotiated next year and signed on right before midterms, which is interesting. And unfortunately, we're taking a step back so long as there's two metrics that are low, and those are bodies coming across the border and fentanyl down. And then we're holding off on everything else. We're not conducting counterterrorism operations. We're not treating Mexico as they should be treated. Mexico is not a 1990s Colombia era with Pablo Escobar in the Medellin cartel. They are a rich Afghanistan next door that does not seek our greatest, they are not our greatest ally, what everyone thinks, even though they are our greatest trade partner now. In fact, agriculture trade has now surpassed that of China. And so that is one thing that people need to realize, is that the majority of your fruits, vegetables, and certain foods, unfortunately, are not coming from America. They're coming from Mexico. And because of that, they have the upper hand in this negotiation. But every single one of your avocados that you eat, every watermelon, everything that is coming from Mexico has the hand of the Mexican cartels on it. And so long as we do not treat them as foreign terrorist organizations, so long as we continue to let Mexico be that way, we are going to continue to lose our sovereignty and security within our food system.
That is such an important point. There's been a lot of coverage about this lately, and you see about the tomato, farmers, et cetera, benefiting now from the tariffs. So I like your point. Anything that you're taking in from Mexico has been touched by the cartel. I mean, it's a very significant, impactful statement, and people need to actually think about it and absorb it, about the choices that we make, and like you said, about our food sovereignty. Very, very important. And we allow it because sort of that's the way things are, and it's not the right thing to do.
Yes, ma'am. And just like we're kind of being gaslit also on amnesty, in terms of amnesty for farm workers and everything else. But if you take a step back, the whole reason why farmers and ranchers are having to hire cheap labor is because the ag industrial complex has built that system where they've completely decimated our domestic supply. Your average family rancher is now making less than 14 cents on every consumer dollar for their product. The rest of it is going to the retailers, the main packers, and everyone else. So because of that, in order to compete against the imports from Mexico, to compete against foreign terrorist organizations, import dumping in the U.S., to compete against globalist multinational companies, they have to increase their production and their size. Well, because of that, they can no longer have families helping them and everything else like that. They're now forced to hire cheap labor. And then when they do that, of course, they have options: hire citizens, hire on the visa program, or hire illegal aliens. And unfortunately, because the system is so rigged against our own farmers and ranchers, they think that the only choice is to hire illegal aliens. Now, there is a different way. Joel Salatin, Will Harris, and others have shown exactly how to create a parallel agricultural economy where you don't have to hire illegal aliens. But unfortunately, many of our farmers and ranchers aren't aware of that type of system. And so they end up hiring illegal aliens.
And I want to talk a little bit more about this, in your, view. How do we, with all these investigations go on, balance the transparency, okay, with the need to protect sources and methods and state secrets. I get it. Like, everybody wants to know. It's like the Epstein file. I get it. I get it. But I also want to make sure that we keep the end goal in mind. And as a former prosecutor and investigator, like, I know how important it is to be able to build your case, put things together, etc. Does our government have an over-classification problem? Because some people do think that.
Oh, 100%. We automatically assume that we are entitled to information.
Exactly.
And people forget, like, OPSEC. I remember, if you remember back in, we both don't remember this. We weren't born then, but like in the 1940s.
Yeah, obviously I
Operation
wasn't
Security.
born in the 1940s.
Yeah. How about
True, he's off the list. The
How
heck?
about operational security? You know how they would always talk about keeping it secret. Unfortunately, now everyone's expecting Pete Hegseth to go out and tell them, "Hey guys, we're coming into this country and we're going and doing this." They're asking us to be completely transparent on every single tactical and operational and strategic operation, whether that's with the DNI in terms of how they're investigating, what should be coming about, or about our military. What is our military doing? Why is it that us as Americans feel that we are entitled to things that will not only negatively impact our security and sovereignty, but also the men and women that are out there, boots on ground, having to protect us? And really, at the end of the day, if you want that level of transparency, how about you join the military? How about you go and actually get on the ground and then go and do what the nation's asking you to do? Then you're going to understand and know what you're doing. Or you want to do it, serve in some order capacity in national security, be a part of that system, understand, and then you'll realize, oh dang, we cannot let this be public. If that's the case, then not only me, but my family, we might die, people might die, and also this entire operation will be completely failed and disrupted. All because we feel as Americans that we should be entitled to have 100% transparency on everything.
So when intelligence agencies are, focused internally on partisan politics, how does that directly divert resources and attention away from any critical national security priorities like countering our actual foreign adversaries?
A great question. So really, unfortunately, now we are in a system of tribes. And it's no longer about this national security or us as a nation. A lot of times, many people think that patriotism and Americanism is passé. They don't see themselves as that. They've seen themselves as past that either they're globalists or they're anarchists. And because of that, their actions are dictated by what once was tribes. Their loyalty is either to identity politics or ideology. And because of that, it is completely destroying the fabrication of our society. Victor Davis Hanson said that is one of the greatest signs of a nation's defeat or demise. Tribalism. It happened in Greece. It happened in Rome. The idea and concept, whenever you place your ethnicity or your ideology or identity politics above that of national security, then unfortunately what's going to end up happening is you're going to destroy your entire safety and sovereignty and security itself. And so unfortunately that's what Democrats and sometimes Republicans do as well. Both are to blame, where they sit there and they'll choose tribal politics, or even in politics they'll choose tribes within each party, and then they will be above the law, or they'll be above the truth, which completely eradicates not only the trust in them in each party, but also it eradicates the trust across the globe, because then no one in foreign policy is going to understand or going to trust us anymore if they can see us sitting here bickering over whether a man is a woman or a woman is a man.
Can't believe we're still doing that kind of stuff. But listen, we love having you on. You're so smart and talented, and love your service to this country. Tell everyone where they can follow you, find you, all of the above.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you again for having me. You can find me at texaspolicy.com at the Secure and Sovereign Texas Initiative, where we focus on state-level politics in terms of security and sovereignty.
All right. Remember, thank you so much for being on the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you again soon. And coming up, a special back to school segment. That's right, just in time for back to school for the kiddos. We have a new book series, Helping Kids Grow Up with Kindness, with Confidence, and with Courage. That's coming up next. And in the meantime, be sure to check out the 1775 Coffee Company. We talk about it all the time. Don't compromise on taste, quality, or your values. And 1775 Coffee is brewed to perfection. It is crafted with precision and built on patriotism. The farm to cup process means there is quality, authenticity, and sustainability from start to finish. All the beans are ethically and exclusively single source. So try 1775 Coffee today. Go to 1775coffee.com/KG for your 15% off your first order. And I also want to bring you a special message from Patriot Lifestyle, where you can save more and spend less on a whole host of different lifestyle benefits, from savings on travel, identity theft, legal services, and even pet care. Take a look. Guilfoyle here, and I'm so excited to introduce the Patriot Lifestyle Benefits Program. With our benefits program, you get a range of lifestyle benefits at an affordable price, so you can save money and stay secure. For example, as a member, you will access exclusive discounts with NB Cash Back, so you can save more on your everyday expenses like groceries, restaurants, and even auto services. And with NB Travel, you can experience more but spend less by enjoying deep discounts on flights, hotels, entertainment, and so much more. These benefits are available to you and your immediate family to use anytime, anywhere. We also offer identity theft protection, so you can stay on top of any unauthorized, fraudulent, or illegal activity. And access free and discounted legal services, so you can protect your rights and receive top legal advice without breaking the bank. Plus, enjoy peace of mind on the highway with our roadside assistance program. And even take care of your furry friends with discounts on pet food, toys, medicine, grooming, and even trips to the vet. Our program is designed specifically for America First patriots like you, who understand the importance of letting your dollars reflect your values and supporting companies who support you. And the best part of all of this, our benefits are at below market prices, so you can enjoy all of them while living the Patriot lifestyle to the fullest. So don't miss out. Visit our website at patriotbenefits.net. That's patriotbenefits.net. Thank you again for choosing the Patriot Lifestyle Benefits Program, where real benefits and real savings are our top priority. Join us today and start saving now. And you can go to patriotbenefits.net to learn more, because these programs all come in extraordinary value and will greatly improve your life. Now, as students head back to school in just a few weeks, we'd like to take a moment to spotlight the importance of reading, of writing, and building a better future. And make sure that children have the resources, the lessons, and the opportunity to foster values like kindness, courage, and confidence as they head back to school. And there is a brand new children's book series, Bravo Bear seeks to do just that. Here, my great friend, he's an author. I'm so proud to say that. You're an author. We're authors together. I like this. And he is the creator of the Bravo Bear series, Christian Hainsworth. So Christian, I'm so proud of you. I know this was like a dream and goal of yours to do. And you have many talents. You're a great builder and construction, everything. But now you are a children's book author.
Yep.
How great is that?
I'm so excited to have this project launched. And
So tell us about the book series, what's it about? And Christian does great work with rescuing dogs as well. We both are involved in that together. So,
well, the series is all about character building, positive values for kids. Now, being a father of two sons, everyone wants to be a good parent, give their child an advantage in life. And schools are phenomenal, teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, all that. But people develop the majority of their lifelong behaviors and beliefs about themselves before they're 5, 6, 7 years old. So those early years are a parent's very narrow window of opportunity to have the greatest impact on their child's future. So who's teaching the children to be confident, to
Yeah.
think ahead, to to persevere, to have the courage to try new things? So we tried to create a fun, entertaining way, I call it edutainment, for kids to
good.
absorb these values. The majority of what kids learn comes to them in the form of entertainment. So we said let's edutainment.
I like that. Let's show us the book and everything here in the series, because this is a 14-book set.
Yeah, there's 14 books in the series based on 7 values, and there's 2 books per value to really enforce it in a child. So, for example, on this first book right here,
This is so cute.
Bravo Bear goes to the movies. They're trying to find a way to go to the movies, how they're going to get there. Their parents are allowing them to go. And they have to plan and think, and it starts getting complicated to do it. Maybe it's not worth it to go, but they persevere and they don't quit. So they achieve their goal and they find their way to get it. Yeah.
That's so cute. How did you come up with this whole, I know you wanted to give back and do something amazing for children, which I love, and you're a great father. You have amazing boys. So did you say, you know what, I really need to do something. I don't like what I see out there for kids. There's got to be some better books and, that teach these core values.
Well, how it started was actually I was watching a very famous, popular motivational speaker. And I saw in his audience there were thousands and thousands of people there, trying to reinvent themselves, trying to learn these skills. And there's a saying, it's much easier to build a strong child than it is to repair a broken adult. And I saw all these adults, I said, wow, imagine getting it right from the start.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a very good point, by the way. And that's why I always tell people you got to invest in children. That's why I also wrote my book. My mother was an educator. I was an educator working as well, same field as she was, in special education, children with special needs. But your books, they're very good. They're all children will enjoy them.
Yes.
And feel good about themselves and have something special. I like that it's a 14-book set, because you'll read one book and then you're like, oh, wait, I wish there was another part to the series or another lesson to learn.
And that's why we have the 2 books per value to really reinforce it. And at the end of each story, there's actually a multiple choice question and answer, which again reinforces the value lesson taught to the child.
So how long did this take you to do?
Oh, I was working on this for quite a few years.
Yeah, because you have more than a full-time job. You're like me. It's not that,
All my
not that
spare
easy.
time between 3 and 5 a.m.
Exactly. That's like me too. Oh my God. And so you said, I'm going to do this. And what did your boys say? They must have been so proud.
They are. Yeah, they are. And when I told them that, you're going to have me on your show today to talk about it, oh, Dad, we're so proud of you. Tell her we love her.
Oh,
So,
they're the
yeah,
best. They're the
we're all
best. They're the
thankful.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great boys. And like I said, Christian's just a good person, giving back, and really wonderful. You have an amazing rescue dog too.
Midas.
So cute. Oh my God. I was there with them when you guys met.
He was
right?
a great birthday
We're
gift.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great birthday gift.
And he's like, well, I don't know, maybe I'm going to wait to see it. I'm like, no, just come. You got to get this dog. He's amazing, right?
And he's the best dog.
The best
He
dog.
is so unbelievable.
You know, and you really exhibited all those amazing values like you are trying to instill and share with children. When you took Midas, and I think it's an important little story so you kind of understand the measure of the man, who he is, and where his heart is. Midas was, a rescue.
Yeah.
And tell about how, he was abandoned and the physical condition that he was in.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, he was abandoned apparently out in the Everglades or way out west. And someone found him. He was like missing. His fur was all gone. He was emaciated. They estimated, they could tell by his teeth, he was about 6 months old. And he somehow survived on his own.
I don't
out
even
there.
know how. It's a miracle.
No.
You and I were marveling at it.
But he knows he was saved.
Yeah.
And he's just, what he's been through for his first 6 months, he's about 2 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unbelievable.
It really is. And
Yeah.
I just remember because they gave you some special medicine to like shampoo and like, help ease like his skin. And now his fur came back and just
Beautifully.
it's a gorgeous
Oh,
dog.
and when the sun shines on him and take him to the beach, he's like Midas. He shines like gold.
Yeah,
He's the
and
coolest
you
dog.
take him to the beach all the time. He
Yeah.
loves the water, loves to play,
Yeah.
very friendly. And it's interesting because, he was a little shy at first, but not when he saw you and your son. He just he
Ran up
somehow
to
got
us.
to get his courage up to be open and have that opportunity and that connection.
Well, he picked us.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah,
cute. I was like, oh my God. And you're like, okay, we can't leave him here. We love him. We got to take him, which is so cute. And the other thing is that, you really gave him help, his confidence and where he was able to feel safe and loved.
Yeah.
And it's cute. One other little story, because I love this, is that he goes like from your bed to then your son, and talk about that's cute.
Oh, yeah. So he has his little routine where he'll, at the first start of the night, he has to run into my room. He stays on the bottom of my bed, or he comes up, he puts his head right on your shoulder, and he'll stay with me for about 20 minutes. And then he has to run to Preston's room, my younger son. He has to go with him because he's still at home. And then he's with him all night. Then in the morning, he comes running back to my room.
Isn't that cute? He wants to share all the love and make sure each one of you are taken care of. So I have an idea for you.
Okay.
You got to write another book, but about Midas.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cute?
That would be great. Yeah.
Yes.
And fostering dogs.
Yes.
Because there's so many.
I know, and it's just it's unbelievable. That's why we love doing stuff with furry friends and Big Dog Ranch, which is great. So I want you to tell me also, like, where can people go? You have a website that's set up now, so they can purchase your books, and how do we get them?
We just launched on bravobear.com.
Oh my God, so cute.
Yeah, so it's real simple, and there's 2 ways to buy. You can get the whole set at one time for a discounted price and free shipping. Or we also have a very a fun 2 book of the month club.
Oh, that's cute.
So you get the 2 books of the month per month for 7 months. And it's exciting for kids because kids very rarely get mail, but they do. Now, when
Isn't
they do,
that
they
cute?
love it.
That's a really good idea.
When they get mail, they love it. So now they're excited. Oh, every month, my books, my books, my books. So it builds a love of books, of reading, of everything. So it's
Oh my God.
kind of all around. We have it all dialed in.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's adorable. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we love Christian. He's amazing. I'm super proud of you. These are high quality. It's unbelievably beautifully illustrated, the whole deal. And I think people will be so happy. And I know kids will be very, very thrilled to get this series. So everybody go on there and go and buy it, right?
Amen.
All right.
Thanks.
And in closing, I want to take a moment to remember wrestling legend Hulk Hogan, who passed away sadly today at 71 years of age. Hulk was a legend, a fearless voice, and a patriot who loved this country. He was an American icon who will be missed. Here he is at the RNC last July. Watch.
All the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
He leaves behind a legacy that changed the world. Rest easy, brother. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Please be sure to download the Rumble app, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, like and share, and tell all your friends so they know exactly where to find us. And please also be sure to follow me across all platforms, X, Truth Social, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Stay tuned, please, to Rumble for all the very latest breaking news coverage. And don't miss Don Jr.'s big show at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to talking to you all again very soon.